My name is Dr. McDowell. I'm the Dean of Enrollment Management here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. I'm the program facilitator for FBOE, and Roger Suggs back there in the blue and white shirt is our program liaison. We have some really neat things that are going to start happening with the program and about the program this fall. For those who are not aware, this program was created for young men 17 to 24 years of age. Young men who are on the fringe of dropping out, young men who are wanting a second, sometimes third, sometimes fourth chance, guys who want to rebuild their swag, and those who need community level support and a mentor and life coach. Though it was designed for young men 17 to 24, we on occasion have young women who participate and have participated since the beginning. We know that young men are often brought to this program because some woman in their life cared enough about them to refer them, to bring them, or to sit alongside with them while they were here. And then sometimes those women kind of fade away when they feel comfortable being here. We have one young man whose uncle called and said, please help me do something. I saw your commercial on the TV, and that young man is here with us and doing so well. I am just so pleased. We had this awesome conversation this afternoon. And I tell you, after he left, I smiled the rest of the afternoon. But we have an opportunity to not only help young men in that age group, some of the young men that end up coming to the program are outside at age 24, and we invite them to come. Our mentors are outside at age 24, and we're always looking for young men who are ready to start mentoring other young men as well. You would be amazed what some of you could do for young men in elementary school. Just seeing you come and you being in college. You would think you were a pop star when you left that elementary school, how excited they would be that a college student came to their school and read to them. A college student came to their school and volunteered. You all are in an awesome position to do a lot of wonderful things. Though you think you may not be ready, there is a young man out there who is looking for you as you are right now. So this year, instead of us just sitting in this room and being of service to one another, we're going to start reaching out. We have several volunteer opportunities for us to participate in the KC Black Expo. And if you remember last Thursday, we brought the sign-in sheet. And on the back table tonight, there are opportunities to volunteer for 3-hour slots to be at the Black Expo on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So we encourage you to sign up. We also have an opportunity on September 24th to be a part of the Prevention Center Annual Carnival Day here at the college. And that sign-up sheet is in the back as well. I was sent today a call for proposals from a conference called Black, Brown, and College Bound. It's a conference that will be held in Tampa, Florida on February 29th through March 2nd. and they were wanting to hear about what we're doing. As we were thinking about, and Roger and I talking about presenting what's happening here, we were also thinking about what young men would be ready to travel with us to also tell their story about their transformation, about their journey from where they were to where they are. We are preparing to upload our pamphlet, which some of you have seen on the table, into the database that the Department of Education is creating on initiatives working with young men of color who are in colleges and what kind of programs are out there to help them, one, have access to higher education, to help retain them, and to help them cross the finish line. Every time you're involved in an activity, every time you say you're part of FBOE, people are looking at you, and believe it or not, they think every young man on this campus belongs to this program. And so watch how you conduct yourself. We will have t-shirts for you to wear for those who participate in the expo. We'll have t-shirts for you to wear for those of you who participate in the family carnival. So if you're a participant in this program, a regular member, because if I put that t-shirt on you, that means you repping FBOE. I can't have you out there doing stuff that's not favorable to this program and not favorable to this institution. So please keep that in mind.
We just have to take advantage of stuff. Terror Casino should be the standard of if he can do, and he's not saying the story so I can say it, 10 years in prison, get out, basically before the internet got popping, get out, come back to school, and get his degree, get a job, buy his first house. Anybody else that ain't in that condition shouldn't have no problem with wanting to try. That's it. You might not make it, but you gotta try. Can't get caught up in things. You never know who's watching, who's listening to what you do. And what you do, and the Bible always says, do not let your goods be evil spoken of. You could be a good person, somebody just catch you when you're with the fellas talking or something like that, and then boom, you can cause everybody around you a lot of trouble. And that's the thing I want y'all to understand is focus on what you're trying to do. And just go for it. You have nothing to lose when people are helping you free. We didn't tell y'all to sign up and pay this fee, monthly fee. The only fee is you showing up and doing something for you. This ain't for us to try to score, or we need 1,000 people in here. It'd be good to have them. So this is for you regardless if one person comes. Because think about it, if somebody had turned casino around, it could have been it for him. So that one person got out of here. Ratings on his way out. People are getting something out of this program. It's on you, but what happens is we watch the commercial, and we wait till we get in trouble. Then we get humble. Kind of how we do God. You know, when things going good, God ain't in my radar. But as soon as I gotta go to court, so hey, could you pray for me? Could you, let me read. That Bible becomes very handy then. You know, we got every day have to be that type of mentality. We gotta do. There's too many people around here that can help you. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about a success story with my man here. I saw him and I had to say, man, I know you come to see us, right? He works at Best Western. He got a story to tell too when he first came here. And I'm gonna let him come up and tell it. Give it up to my man, Best Western Finance.
Well, yeah, I know Ms. McDowell told me to say about what I did this summer, but that's not like the point, because I just been working and coming to school. The thing is, before, like when I first started coming here, everything was so positive, and where I was working at, I feel like the environment was kind of like negative, and it was McDonald's. I started there working front desk, but then for some kind of reason, the managers believed that I belonged to the back just because I was like Mexican. Like, oh yeah, all the Mexicans, they're good at the kitchen area. They're like, you're Hispanic, so could you just help us out? But that helping out, it was just like, okay, the next day you go to the back, you know, to the burgers. And I was like, well, at first you guys just told me to help. Why, you know, why am I now just stuck to the back just because, you know, just because my ethnicity or, you know, just because how I look? And then they're like, no, you're just really good at, you know, doing burgers, just being at the back. And I was like, okay. And then they started like cutting my hours, and then that's when I like became member of the FBOE. And then like I started seeing some of the speakers that we have. They'll be like, you don't have to be judge of you don't have to see yourself as how others see you. You need to, you know, look yourself at the mirror and then just be like, this is what I am, this is what I want to be, and then you gotta go for it. So all of this has been helping me out. So I tried to find another job. I went with Eric, he's my mentor from another program, and he helped me out. He's like, yeah, you should just join this program, do this out. So he's my mentor too, so he helped me out. And then I took a course about the hotel industry, and I was like, well, that's something that, you know, it might be helpful in the long run. So I just did the program. After that, like, it was like, that's another thing FBOE is about. It's about God, because like it's a lot of religious around here, and being spiritually good is always going to be really helpful. So I had God in me. I had all this good confidence, and then the opportunity came. Like, hey, they're looking for a front desk representative. You just want to, you know, fill out the application, and then it was like really easy. I didn't even need the interview. It was just like, well, you know, who are you, or, you know, what are you about? And I was like, well, I did this. You know, I'm so and so, and this is just my resume. He's like, okay, and then he's like, I'll call you in a week. And then it was like just that. I thought I wasn't gonna get the job, but like at the end of the week, I had the job. And then at first he was kind of skeptical about me, so he's like, I'm just gonna give you 2 days or maybe 1. And I was like, it's okay, I just need a job. And then after that, like now, this summer, he put me full time. He put me like those 5 days, 40 hours a week. And I just came back to school again. I'm gonna take 2 classes, biology and composition 2, and I'll be working part-time.
All right.
And the thing is, when you hook up with FBOE, it's like a family. And you know, we went to McDonald's, me and another guy, Dominique, and just kind of wanted to see what's going on. You know, you mess with little brother now. We want to see what's the problem. Oh, there's no problem. We think he's a good worker. Well, I know. Did you know he does this in school? Do you know his grades are good? And so on. So things change. Sometimes you have to join teams. We got power in numbers. I always say power to the people, but when we're not united, we're powerless every single time.
This is Roger. Fringe Benefits, we got my man Jermaine, man, Mr. Anthony C. Nealy, up in here from Missouri side, Global One Entertainment. So, kind of let people know why you're here and the things you do.
Well, first I want to say thanks for letting us come out and participate with you guys. We became partners and started a company a year ago. We promote local recording artists, and we also have a film and cinema department which Jermaine Thomas handles, and we've got a documentary coming out. And we're just trying to give the local artists more platforms to be able to perform and try and get them distribution deals. So we're just serving the local artists here. And you know, it takes creativity. You know, it's rough right now, but you know, you can keep putting applications in, looking for a job, but you have to learn to be creative and produce a job also. So that's what we're doing and building our own company right now. And partner Jermaine, he handles the film side. So.
My name is Jermaine Thomas, and I handle the film video side of the company. Like you said, I met Anthony last year, did some work for him, and he asked me to go into partnership with him. As he mentioned, we do have a documentary in the works, which will be out November 2012, entitled Black Tie, White Tie, Chronicle of an African American Family, which is about one man's search for his historical genealogy in his family. So that's what we do, and next year hopefully we're hoping to open up and get a little bigger and start getting in the narrative. So
I've really tapped into my acting thing, you know, been doing a few plays. Got one coming up you need to check out called Spike Hills that I'm about to go to in a minute right now. Really been focusing on my schooling, and this is a big part of why I got back into school and got me on the right track. Like Roger would say, it's a good step in case you like fall into some type of issue or some type of problem, whether it be family issues or some type of personal problems that you have no type of control over. It's a good way to get an extra step.
Oh my goodness, in every way. They encourage me. They're like the motivation that I always needed. And by me being a female, hey, I can get what I can get. So I'm blessed to be in the program and to help others and encourage other people to come.
The next two gentlemen I'm about to introduce, I know them, and they've done a lot of things in the community. Really, they expanded to both sides. That's their goal, to expand to both sides. And I'm not going to give them a big introduction because they got some things they want to talk to you about what they're about. Let's welcome Mr. Anthony C. Nealy and Jermaine Thomas.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
First, I thought about the last couple of days. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? I said, well, I'll just put my big guy out there and I'll go sit down and let him do all the talking. But anyway, I'm Anthony Nealy from Detroit, Michigan. I moved here 2 years ago and got married, and 51 years old, raised up in Detroit. And came from some great parents, born in the 60s and 70s. Both my parents were hard workers. My dad was a city worker, union man. My mom was a 40-year nurse. And my dad was a jazz musician and passed the sticks down to me. So I got a chance to play in the entertainment field when I was young and sent to private school and stuff. So I was raised in one of the houses that had a lot of love, you know. And the thing is, it really doesn't matter because the challenges of life, they don't have boundaries. So choose a decision. You can be raised in one of the most loving, caring families, but you know it's a personal choice that God sent you to do to choose what kind of person you want to be. And everyone has to go through that. So never feel like it's, you know, you isolate. This is just my story. You know, every individual has to go through that. And secondly, for me, I worked almost 17 years working in call centers and doing data processing and marketing and stuff. And I got it to the age where I'm at now, and I get a chance to follow my dream that I always wanted to be a promoter for shows and promote young artists and help them get to the next level. And so I went on and started my company here, and I met my partner. He shot one of our first 3 auditions we had for a project called Kansas City's Got Talent competition showcase we had over the Gym Theater on 18th and Vine on 9/11, and the spirit just hit me, you know, and I asked him to be a partner, and I handled the entertainment side, promotional side, he handled the film and cinema side. We've been really blessed to have done all the things we have done and touched the people we've touched in Kansas City, Missouri, and the pastors we've worked for, and people of renown and position that respect us and look at our work, and now they want to do business with us. And I'm just I'm ecstatic. My mom passed 05. I wish she could be here to see this company business I'm in the process of building, which is Global One Entertainment. And man, I'm honored to be amongst you all. You know, I come up. My dad was a street guy. You know, he sold drugs. Pretty reputable man on the west side of Detroit for about 30 years. And you know, I came up under that. God bless. Never got a felony, and I'm still here, not dead. And you know, all of that was an experience. You know, you can guide the kids you can teach them as much as you want to teach them, but you have to pray that they make the right choices when they get out there, because they still want to make the individual choices, you know, and you know, it's not your fault, you know, you just have to grow and learn, you know, and get closer to God. And secondly, before my partner talk, the thing is, everyone has a natural gift that God gives them, you know. Every human being has a natural gift. So if you tap into that, I don't care if it's singing, drawing, growing tomatoes, cooking, working on cars, painting, making music, being a photographer, you have a natural talent that you can sustain your life with if you master that skill that He's given you, you know, and everything else is way to get by and work and pay your bills, but tap into your natural gift that God gave. It could be preaching, it could be cooking, and you tap into it and master that, and you sustain your life, with that, and can't nobody take that from you. So it could be boxing, wrestling, you could be good physically, just tap into that and master that, and God bless you along the way.
My name is Jermaine Thomas. I'm actually the opposite. I was taken from my mother when I was real young. I didn't know my father. And so I was bounced around from foster home to foster home, things of that nature. They put me with my auntie, and that was like a real bad experience for me. So when I came out of high school, I did the normal thing, got in trouble and all that. And in '94, I went to Job Corps and studied cooking. So I came out, and I've been in that ever since. So in 2004, I was in a car accident, and both my knees was messed up, and the doctor actually told me that I wouldn't walk without assistance again. But I decided to go back to school, so I went to Penn Valley, and after I got my associate's degree from there, I was going through a program in Missouri, because they was sending people back to school who was having medical difficulties and stuff. And so he asked me what I wanted to do, and it was a big question for me, because that's the first time somebody had really asked me that with intention. And so that opened the world up for me. And naturally out of my mouth, I said, I want to study film. And he said, okay. So I was like, all right. So I enrolled in Abilene University. I'll be done next year. I have my bachelor's degree in film and digital media. Thank you. I'm working on my first documentary, which will be out next year, 2012, called Black Tie, White Tie. And it's an interesting film because it's based on a book of the same name, written by Lyle Gibson. He's a professor of history at Penn Valley Community College. And he actually traced his family history back to the plantation where everything started. So we actually last year went down and did some interviews with some members both on the white side and on the black side of the family, which was really interesting. And not to give away anything in the film, but there was one, we was interviewing someone on the black side. And so she was telling us about how work was when they were young. She said they had to work the whole year and they got their paychecks at the end of the year. But if they needed something from the boss, that came out of their paycheck. So at the end of the year, they might not get a paycheck. And I was sitting up here, and as I was shooting, and I was like, wow, man, I be playing. I get paid every 2 weeks. And I was just like, wow, it just kind of blew my mind, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a wonderful experience. And then we went and interviewed some members on the white side of this family. It's going to be a pretty good documentary coming out. Like I said, it's my first project, and my focus is documentary filmmaking, but I'm in the process of actually writing my first narrative. And when I first went to school, I said I didn't want to do a narrative. It's too much work. You got to do this and you got to do that. But like Anthony was saying, sometimes you get creative and things have to come out. And so I was taking playwriting at Abilene, and I wrote this play called Yell Freedom. And what it was about was, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Blackbird. Any of you ever heard of that? But right after the Reconstruction period, to make money, what they would do is they would take free slaves from the North and take them back to the South and resell them into slavery. And so I actually from that idea, from that play idea, I actually started writing a full-length script. So, and I just sent it to my professor for them to look at it. So hopefully, I can get it written and maybe y'all can see it one day. So, but that's pretty much my story. But before I end, I was watching a documentary called The Secret. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. But he made this statement. He said psychologists say about 85% of all people come from dysfunctional families. And he said that just means you're not special. It just simply means, that no matter where you come from, you can make it. And if I have to give any advice, the key is to align yourself with people that are doing what you're doing. That's the key. Because if you want to do, if you want to be a filmmaker, you align yourself with filmmakers. If you want to be an actor, align yourself with actors. If you want to be a preacher, align yourself with preachers. Because what ends up happening is, you can be motivated for a while, but if you're not around the people to give you that encouragement and to learn from them, and being around people also helps you learn your craft. And if you're not around people that are like-minded, then you tend to get unmotivated, get off on the wayside. So if I have anything to say, that would be it.
He wanted me to recant something I spoke to Roger about, that I tell my kids. I've got adult kids in Detroit. My oldest is 30, electrical engineer, works for GM. Got a daughter 20 and a couple other boys 20 and 22. But I told them, for one, we was raised and taught that when you do bad things or negative things or unethical things, it follows you and it catch up with you, but they forgot to tell us and breed in us that good follows you too, integrity follows you too, work ethics follow you too, being a servant to people and caring about people, you get paid in the long run, you really do, it follows you and it pays off. And one of the things my parents taught was, if you're gonna have to clean or be a custodian, be the best custodian you can be. If you're gonna cook, be the best cook you can be. That's what they embedded in us. So, it just rolled over, into everything that you do. You work hard at it and it pays off, and the other thing that I like about how God created us to be so creative and how our mind is able to obtain so much. These young moguls, multi-million-dollar gentlemen that have their companies and started out as rappers and dope guys, they didn't go to college. They had to learn everything that they learned in the process along the way. They had to read up on certain laws. They had to read up on corporate, how to set the corporation up. They had to learn the different levels of handling their money and structuring business. You can just read that. So reading is the key.
What did Jermaine and Anthony say? What did you hear?
I heard that you have to have drive and you have to want whatever you do. Whatever your goal is, you have to want it bad enough to push yourself to get in. Like you said, surround yourself with people that's doing it or doing better things than you so they can tell you how to get it.
What did you hear?
Basically, what I got from this is if you want to change your situation, then you got to change something about yourself.
I've also learned, me personally, that it's not necessarily the people that you deal with, it's what you believe in also. First and foremost, God comes first, period.
One thing I observed, you need a collaboration, it's good to network and like these two gentlemen, they each have different gifts, but they come together for a common purpose. And so, networking is the key to it.
It's like people want to be accounted for, but don't want to be accountable.
You can't be a follower, and you can't follow anybody no more. It's like in these times of days, who follows anybody? It's like this life is turning into Twitter now. Everybody's following somebody. You gotta step out and be a leader. Be somebody, like how you said, you gotta step out from the crowd. Be somebody who you want to be instead of how everybody else wants you to be. And that's what I got.
Okay.
You just got to do your goals. Follow your goals before you do anything else.
I'm just hearing being there for the moment, being ready for the moment. So when the opportunity presents itself, you are there ready instead of out of place, looking at what you could have been done, steps back.
You have that opportunity that presents itself, don't listen. Because there's a whole lot of different things that you can get yourself into when you're motivated. But, also when I listen to everything that everybody's saying here, the automatic thing for an imperfect person to do is to look at everybody else around you. But I had to sit back, and even though I'm sitting here and thinking in my head, this person could listen to that, this person, I had to sit back and take it well, what am I doing? Because there is so much out here for me to be doing. Besides being with the specific people that's not helping me, or that I need to change, or cannot be changed.
Or you change them.
Or change them. And if that means that I have to be by myself and be my own motivator, that's what it's got to be.
Because the deep stuff happens within.
What you be gotta be with you, so you're never by yourself.
Right.
whatever you lose and sacrifice, God will replace. And when you pray to God, you have to think outside the box.
When that door opens, walk in it like I have. I'm a full-time student here, and I'm proud of myself. Go, girl. Right. With my age, I've been attending here for quite some time.
Okay. If there is one thing, after all you've said and what you've heard, if there was one thing you wanted the gentleman and the others in attendance to remember, what would it be?
Once again, I have to say it again, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. But the prerequisite to that is preparation. I recently read a saying that says luck, the definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So while you're in the process of preparing yourself, when you hit that point, then the teacher will come. So that's the one thing I would reiterate on.
Wonderful. I like that it has a prerequisite.
Yes, it does.
What would you want them to walk away with?
Well, for me, I think a lot of times life tears people's spirits up to where they lose the value of self, their self-worthiness, learning what they, coming to know their self-worthiness and their value in God and themselves and their own creativity, you know, because people get beat down and think that, oh, I know how to make cakes well, but they call you a sissy when you was young because you want to make cakes. That just could be one of your skills, you know, and just tapping into that and knowing the value of self and the natural gift that God gives you, that you can just sustain your life, you know, with your own creativity and just learning the value of self and your own self-worthiness, you know, for your esteem, for good self-esteem. So.
Now, one of the things, again, we're talking about young men, and we know the sense of urgency, particularly in our community for African American men. We know the sense of urgency for Hispanic males. We know the sense of urgency even for European males who do not have a good education. They don't graduate from high school. We know that sense of urgency is there both in higher education and secondary education, where young men are not graduating at the same rate as the young women. What do you see as a possible solution to turn those kind of statistics around?
Well, one of the things, it has to start in the home. When I was in the foster home, we didn't have no father. And I remember I got into a fight with a white boy, and because he called me a nigger. And so when I got home, my foster mother made me look the word up in the dictionary and write it over. And it said a lazy, trifling, ignorant person. And so she made me write that over until I got it. So the thing you have to do is encourage reading, you know, encourage a love of learning. And as they get to a point, if you can, get them around other men who are doing the same thing. And so they'll get to the point that when they get it and that light goes off, then they'll be off and running.
What do you see?
And, you know, for me, I think having the example in their face, they don't have that anymore. When we was coming up, we had strong black men in our face that taught us how to be gentlemen, how to be men, what was the importance in life. No matter if they were running around with a liquor in their hand, you know, they still telling you what's the best way to be the kind of man to be proud of yourself and work hard, and you know, and they were a lot of the men were the example because they were hardworking men. They took care of their wife and their kids, and you know, no matter what was going on in the street, family was priority. You know, we had the Martin Luther Kings and the Al Sharptons and the Malcolm X's right in our faces. You know, we had men singing music back then of black pride, of knowing self and knowing your history. You know, and that was just directly poured into us, and that's what they're missing now. I think the value of self.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you all. You clearly generate a lot of energy, and that's what we like, the gentlemen to want to come up to you afterwards and say, tell me more, tell me more. And I know that we know Lyle Gibson, I wrote his name down. I said, I'm going to have to get him here in February for our first Thursday in February. I'm going to have to call him. He worked here for a while, and I worked with him in Penn Valley and said, hey, you have to commit to the first Thursday in February.
Yeah, he was my African American history teacher.
Yes.
And he really woke me up. But he's the one I'm doing the film for.
Wonderful.
It's his book, Black Top, White Top.
Okay.